Bitcoin Intel Secrets. This is Greg. A number of friends of mine have been involved with Bitcoin perhaps over the last year, maybe two, and the type of money involved is getting fairly large. I actually believe that Bitcoin is the most important of the cryptocurrencies because it's the first to finally be traded on an exchange, and there's a sort of a soft introduction on December 10th, 2017 that's going to go on, and then formally options or futures will be traded in Chicago as of the 18th, I believe, of December 2017. So I decided to start doing posts because I had a sort of an experience where a close friend of mine was in a situation where when Bitcoin was at about $7,000, she was wondering kind of what I thought might occur next. And my response to her was I actually thought that, in general, what's happening is as we head towards the start of trading, there's a whole bunch of new money that's going to be coming into Bitcoin. And my assessment of it was that if you're in strictly a supply and demand situation, the more capital that enters a space in a supply-demand situation, the higher the likelihood that you have a higher price. So it wasn't anything brilliant, it was simply basic economics in terms of how and why things might occur. Then the next thing that sort of popped to mind and why I decided to go ahead and do a channel on it was I was amazed at the number of people that were sort of pressured or tortured by their decision-making process on Bitcoin and what to do next. And the thought process I had was, what if you could sort of introduce basic principles of commodities and other trading elements to Bitcoin to help folks understand how to better do what they're doing. So the first thing I'd like to do is, I don't have any endorsement for this, but I wanted to mention Options Express. It's one of a ton of places you can go online to get information on options. And if you're serious about Bitcoin, if you have serious dollars involved, I would highly recommend that you go on and use their free tools for learning about options, because what you're really doing with Bitcoin is trading options, even though you may not realize that's what you're doing. So today's post is kind of concentrated on sort of the first in a series of basic idea for options. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to post at the beginning and the end, and you'll just see it'll just be a page, and all it'll have on it is a formula. And what the formula is that when you trade options, there are three components: time, volatility, and and proximity to price. So those are the three elements that are used in pricing options on a general basis. So if you type in what is an option contract and into Google, Wiki will explain it to you, and you'll see this formula. So what's interesting about this is, and kind of what I wanted to cover in round one, and I'll sort of walk you through over time, different elements of this. So in this case, how it affects where we are in the time life cycle of Bitcoin is that what you'll notice is that as we're moving forward towards a significant event, so let's go back to it again, we have volatility, we have, if you will, time that you have, or time till expiration, and then we have proximity to price. So about half of that we could use in the Bitcoin trading because of reasons I'll explain later. But today, for today's argument, I want to really make it simple and only focus on one thing. And what that one thing is a concept that's called delta. So if you look up delta as a math term, what it means is change. So why Bitcoin has doubled or is doubling over a 2-week period is that there's a significant change that's about to occur as options are traded on the Chicago Board of Trade. That big change is that there are a large number of deep-pocketed individuals, many of them hedge funds, many of them individuals, that will now have instruments with which they can, what's called hedge their positions. So they can get into Bitcoin, and because they can hedge their position, they can now do it in a safer way than the old days when there was no way to hedge or insure their position. So because of all this new capital potentially coming in and there being a supply-demand situation, we have a deal going right now where you have high volatility or delta that's coming in. You have a lot of capital that's coming in, and those two things in my mind are driving up the value of Bitcoin. And I believe that we're going to enter kind of an unknown zone of what's going to happen, and then once the trading starts, you'll start to see an environment, I think, that'll be healthier for everybody, because those that have a lot of money at risk can have a way to hedge or insure their positions. So because we're in a power zone for everything going on with Bitcoin, I'll likely just do a series of small posts and sort of capturing different ideas in each post. And then as we get into the options trading period and things kind of settle down, we'll be able to introduce principles of regular options, because you'll have a lot more tools you could work with, because as you can see from the instruments I described, you're kind of stuck right now without some of the tools that normally go with options. And so the only side of it right now that's really working well is the whole idea of delta or change. So I believe that there's going to be significant change between now and trading start on a soft basis on December 10th, and then there's going to be even heavy-duty change between December 10th and December 17th. I think there are going to be huge dollars in motion during those periods, hence why I decided to start the site and look forward to doing more posts that helps everyone to understand better what's going on. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for taking time out. Please drop a note for any questions or input that you might have on things we're posting. So for this just first post, I just wanted to review the fact that we're trading options. There are certain parameters that go with trading options that one should be aware of if you're involved with Bitcoin and you have significant dollars involved. Number one. Number two, I would highly recommend Options Express or some of the other sort of platforms that allow you to learn more about how options are traded. And upon doing so, you can now sort of be in the space more informed rather than just asking a buddy of yours if you think it's going to be higher or lower, and start to apply principles of economics as well as option trading to the process of your Bitcoin trading for a more profitable outcome and frankly a better experience. Thanks and have a great day. Please like and subscribe.